Massey had been running on coffee and desperation for the past 72 hours. His eyes were bloodshot, his uniform wrinkled, and his hands trembled slightly as he adjusted the controls of the Deep Space Monitoring Station. As the Chief Communications Officer of Outpost Kepler 9, he'd intercepted a signal 3 days ago, a signal that shouldn't exist. The pattern was too deliberate to be cosmic noise, too complex to be a natural phenomenon. It was a message, and it was getting closer. "Sir, proximity alert." His assistant called from across the control room. "Unidentified vessel, 10,000 kilometers and closing." Massey's heart hammered against his ribs. This was it. First contact. The moment humanity had been preparing for, dreaming about, fearing for centuries. And it was happening on his watch, in his sector, when he could barely keep his eyes open. "All stations, yellow alert. Activate defensive protocols, but do not, I repeat, do not power weapon systems." His voice was steadier than he felt. The ship appeared on their view screen, sleek, organic looking, like a pearl suspended in the void. It moved with an elegance that made their military vessels look like floating scrap metal. Massey watched as it decelerated impossibly fast, coming to a complete stop just outside their defensive perimeter. "Sir, they're hailing us." Massey straightened his uniform, pushed his dark hair back from his forehead, and nodded. "Put them through." The screen flickered, and then she appeared. She looked almost human, almost. Her skin had a faint luminescence, like moonlight on water. Her eyes were larger, more expressive, shifting between shades of violet and silver. She wore something that resembled a uniform, though it seemed to move and shimmer with her breathing. She tilted her head, studying him through the screen with an expression that seemed both curious and compassionate. "You look as tired as my sister." "Sir," she said in perfect English, her voice melodic yet direct. Massey blinked, completely thrown off guard. Of all the opening statements he'd imagined for humanity's first contact with alien intelligence, concern for his sleep schedule wasn't one of them. Excuse me, your sister?" "No, wait." The alien girl frowned slightly, a very human gesture. "You don't have a sister." "My sister, she works too hard also. Never sleeps. Always monitoring, always worrying." She smiled, warm and genuine. "I'm Annie. I'm here to talk about the message you received." "Annie," Massey repeated, the normalcy of the name somehow making the situation more surreal. "I'm Massey, Chief Communications Officer. You speak our language. We've been listening for a while," Annie explained, leaning forward slightly. "We don't make contact until we understand. Your planet broadcasts so much television, radio, internet signals. We've learned everything. Your languages, your cultures, your fears." Her expression softened. "Especially your fears. And what do you want?" Massey asked, forcing himself into professional mode despite the exhaustion clouding his thoughts. Annie's eyes seemed to glow brighter. "My people, the Cellistari, we travel between stars helping civilizations reach their potential. We don't conquer. We don't colonize. We guide when we're invited. Your species is at a turning point. We've seen it before, the moment when you either destroy yourselves or take the next step forward." Massey felt his chest tighten. "And which path are we on?" "Both," Annie said simply. "That's why I'm here. The signal you intercepted 3 days ago, it wasn't from us. It was from another species, one that doesn't share our philosophy. They're coming, Massey. They'll arrive in approximately 6 months. And they won't ask permission." The control room fell silent. Massey could hear his own heartbeat, feel the weight of Annie's words settling over him like a shroud. "Why tell us? Why not just handle it yourselves?" Annie stood up, and he realized she was taller than she'd appeared sitting down. "Because this is your world, your choice, your fate. We can help, we can teach, we can stand beside you, but we won't fight your battles for you. That's not help. That's dependence." She pressed something on her end, and a holographic star chart appeared between them. "I'm authorized to offer you a choice. We can share technology, knowledge, strategies. We can help you prepare. But it means opening your world to us, trusting us, working with us. It means change, rapid, dramatic change. Some of your leaders will resist. Some will call it surrender. It won't be easy, and if we refuse..." Annie's expression grew sad. "Then we'll leave. We'll honor your choice." and you'll face what's coming alone." She paused. "But I don't think you'll refuse. You intercepted that signal because you were looking, because despite all your exhaustion and fear, you never stopped monitoring. You never gave up." Massey looked at her, this impossible girl from the stars who somehow reminded him why he'd joined the space program in the first place. He thought of Earth, of the billions sleeping peacefully below, unaware that their entire future balanced on decisions being made in this moment. "I need to contact my superiors," he said finally. "This is beyond my authority, I know," Annie replied. "But I came to you first because you're the one who found the signal. You're the one who stayed awake for 72 hours making sure it wasn't a mistake. You're the one who'll make them listen." She smiled again. "Besides, my sister says the tired ones are always the most dedicated." Over the following hours, Massey coordinated the most important conference in human history. World leaders, scientists, military commanders all listening to Annie's calm, patient explanations. There were doubters, deniers, those who counseled caution and isolation. But in the end, they chose cooperation. As the first Shelastari shuttles began arriving, bringing technology and knowledge, Massey stood at the observation window watching Earth transform before his eyes. Annie appeared beside him, not on a screen this time, but in person. Standing in his station for the first time. "You should rest now," she said gently. "You've done your part." Massey smiled, feeling the exhaustion finally catching up to him. "Your sister was right. The tired ones really are the most dedicated." Annie laughed, a sound like wind chimes. "Get some sleep, Massey. When you wake up, your world will be different. Better, but still yours." As he headed to his quarters, Massey realized she was right. That meeting, that impossible conversation with an alien girl concerned about his sleep schedule, had changed everything, had changed his fate, humanity's fate, and somehow, impossibly, it felt like exactly what was meant to happen.